And second game, well, it's going to be apparently a rare on Savannah, and yet again, pretty much the same gods in here. It's going to be Zeus and Kronos, so we don't probably need to talk about this all that much longer in here. And let's start with game number 2. Alright, so right now Vagabond Lion is going to be starting on the left, and it's actually a mirror matchup. Okay, yeah, so that might have been part of the rules of the tournament, that actually they had to switch the gods. That wouldn't surprise me at all, because I don't see exactly a reason why they would be switching otherwise. So yeah, that was probably the reason, or rather that's the reason for that, and on the same map, that definitely makes sense. And he is starting on the left, having yet again chickens, unfortunately for him. Again, not seeing the hunt. Let's see where it is actually for him. Let's cheat a bit. Well, not... Ah, well, there's one giraffe. That's not really good. Aha, rhinos on the right. Oh, just out of sight. Literally just out of sight. And he's not moving in there. He's going to the back. Yeah, he basically... This is the response to the first game. Because in the first game, he missed it at the back of his base. So he's right now going in there, hoping it's gonna be somewhere in that position. Yeah, well, tough luck. This time it's in the front. There's just one town center at the back that he has just discovered, but the hunt is in the front. Just now could be seeing it, but not sure if he's going to be noticing all that much. But let's switch into Ourk. How much of a luck is he having? He should be having better scouting, of course. Yet again, the rhinos in here. So Ourk probably going to be having better advance yet again. Slightly unfortunate. For Lion, definitely not having the luck on his side. But yeah, some more rhinos in the front with some gold. And of course, a bit of settlement also in the very middle of the map. This is actually going to be a pretty important one. And it is Ourk's. It is Ourk's front TCs, as the TCs for his opponent are kinda sucky. This is Lion's, and he just doesn't do anything at all. Just a bit of protection for gold miners potentially. There are 2 gold mines in there, even some elise with a bit of berries. On top of that, but pretty far away from the home bases from both of these players. And behind the base for Ourk, there's just one town center, pretty much safe. Not really any kind of problem to gather it for himself. And some giraffes in the front. Has he discovered them? Yes, he has. And the relic was what? Better village wood and gold gatherates. Nice. Next relic is what? Better unit line of sight. Actually a pretty great one. Especially since we have seen those 2 guys do a whole lot of radiant in there. This is a very important relic for both. So far he hasn't scouted all that far away from his opponent, or rather towards his opponent. So Lion, does he know? He should be knowing about the... Oh, he doesn't. He knows about right now the giraffes. Just missing the elephants. But his goatee will be scouting them. Unless she's stolen. Yeah, she might be. It might be kind of unlucky yet again for Lion. He's apparently gonna get stolen those goats. And that will of course mean that he will not know about the elephants. And oh, well, somebody dodged a bullet. Somebody dodged a pretty huge bullet, because this will allow him to see that this is a pretty great spot for him. Not only because of the hunt, but the double golds. And he will most definitely want to move here. So that's an important spot. But through the scouting of Ourk, I'm fairly certain that Ourk will want to raid there as soon as possible. He definitely knows that that is a pretty good spot for him to look for his opponent, and he is already coming for the temple. So yep, that's going to be fairly standard advance at about 5 minutes. At about 5 minutes I would be expecting, whereas the opponent is, well, not really dropping a temple yet, as he's just now moving into the giraffes at the bottom. But he definitely could be coming for the temple. Just now he is, and it's gonna be advance, maybe something similar to Ourk. Let's see, the efficiency of course, the Atlanteans is slightly better. He's even using the single giraffe at the top, so that he doesn't have such screwy advance time as he had in the first game. And I'm curious if it's going to be enough for him or not. Right now coming up with the granary on the front hand, of course, which is going to be widely unsafe, especially because of this red dude. Just now scouting the hunt, and pretty soon about 1-2 extras. I think about... that could be about it, 1 extra, that he'll be sealing the granary. Just now, and he will know absolutely exactly where to go for raiding as well. Unfortunately, Oracle gonna get killed pretty soon, the second one, so probably not much of a Valorin for this one, as the advance is going to be coming in just about a few seconds for the Atlantean, which is going to be aiming for 525, and Ourk is already halfway in, so that's fairly fast advance at 440. Probably expecting that maybe he could be subject to some kind of crush, but no, he isn't. And there is even pickaxe coming up and double villages right now on the temple. So yep, we should be expecting a bit more of the centaurs than we have seen from Lion in the first game. Let's see about that. It's going to be stable for him. Stable times 2, so pretty much the same strategy as we have seen in the first game. So let's see if the execution is going to be better or not. It should be better, of course, just because of the better advance and better econ in the early game. This is kind of curious. Just switching the manor to a bit of a better position to actually protect the villages, so that he doesn't need to lose the time with building the manor in there. And yep, he needs all the food that he can get before he is ready for his opponent. So counter barracks number 1 and number 2. Is he going to be following with military barracks as well? I'll be expecting so. Bit of scouting where the goatees by blue, so that he sees if potentially there's something at the back of his base. So far he doesn't see anything in there, and we should be expecting really even more military academy on top of that. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting switch in the strategy. And well, the horses are already coming in, of course, with the centaur. And so far though, we are not seeing all that many extras in there, which is slightly curious. But yeah, apparently not many of the centaurs are going to be made by him. In the meantime, he's trying to steal the relic, but of course they are actually coming for him. Those 2 citizens with the Promethean. Oh man, that's a bit of a gang up, and of course Ourk needs to retreat from this position, at least for a moment, as those 2 hippicons, they could be having some kind of idea about killing the citizen, and he needs to hide in his transported manor. So nicely played, and a bit of an engagement is taking place right next to Lion, as you would be expecting, because of, yet again, the advanced times. Okay, so Jason is dead. That's quite unfortunate, because of course this Promethean is right now going to be able to deal with the hippicons, and especially the second one coming in as well, and the third one already coming for a bit of raiding. So that seems to be military barracks coming up. Yep, double N1 with Murmilos, and of course double Turmas, and probably waiting for the catapulties as well as in the first game. So he's falling back to chickens. Well, he still does have one rhino. That's yet again kind of weird. He does have hunting dogs, right? Yes, he does. So definitely don't understand why he isn't moving on. For the rhino would definitely make a whole lot more sense for him. But well, let's see how it will work out for him. In the meantime, Valor, quite important right now, as he's getting at least the 1 Murmilla and double Turmas. Going to be working quite alright against the Centaurs, which I think I have heard another one being made. Yes, so he's finally fully switching into the Centaur's Polemarchs. So that's fairly standard build up with them together with the Hippicons. Oh, with the Hippicons. And I'm kind of curious if he's gonna make... Oh, he actually really is. Something from the military academy right off. And well, it's going to be army of hoplites with Murmil, or with, goddammit, Hippicons, and on top of that a few Centaurs to help him defend against the Prometheans and such. So yeah, trying to get rid of the hunters at the bottom, which is of course pretty important for him. He has already killed one of those. And if he is going to be forcing his opponent off this hunt, it will mean that he doesn't have anything all that much left. He does have the rhinos in the front, but they are completely unsafe. They are completely unsafe, basically would be subjected to similar raiding as right now his villages, or rather he's subjecting to blue villages too. A bit of reinforcements in there. Should be working quite alright for him in the matter of minutes in here. But Lion is really putting up a pretty strong stranglehold on his opponent, basically not allowing him to emerge from his shell like at all, and he's raiding him from basically all the spots on the map. And he's having all the army, really, all across the map, and not really allowing Ourk to do anything at all, because in the last game we could have remembered that Lion was just allowed to raid quite a lot with the Hippicons, but this time, yeah, well, Lion is not really being allowed, or rather Ourk is not being allowed the same at all. So nicely played by Lion, and it's really looking quite tough at this stage for the blue player, because of course he doesn't have the heroes yet. I think there was one mate, second one also, so both are out, but still there are just 2, And the Prometheans, if they use correctly, and especially if the Turmas single out the heroes correctly as well, it's going to be a pretty big problem for him. Much more importantly though, Ourk is running out of food. His next food source is quite far away and basically on the wrong side of the map. He would definitely like it if the hunt was at the bottom, but it is at the top. So that's definitely not great for him, having the idols in there. And he will have to switch probably into farms, which I'm not all that sure he's going to be ready for. The economy potentially is going to be in there. He's a bit housed right now at 75, but even though he is, he cannot really put up enough army. And switching into Lion, who isn't housed, and he definitely does have pretty nice economy. He's missing just a bit of food, but since he's right now safe to go to the bottom, he should be quite fine. And well, yep, it's really working into his favor. And the Stranglehold is really quite a good strategy and paying off quite strongly. Not even towers, that's kind of unfortunate for Ourk. Well, he definitely does have the resources, I'm not understanding why he isn't upgrading them. That's actually a pretty big mistake right now by him. Pretty big mistake, but it seems like just now he could have clicked. Or it was just a Centaur. Okay, that was just a Centaur. So I kind of think the logic is that he doesn't want to spend the resources, actually the wood, on the towers, but he wants to go for the Centaurs, which is, I think, just wrong thinking. Because of course he has 4 towers, so that's like 4 extra units and pretty strong ones on top of that. And yep, exactly at the crucial places in here, exactly where Vagabond Lion was advancing on him, and it would have helped with the defense quite immensely. But yeah, none of that, as there is yet another pretty important engagement, with Ourk still not having even medium Hippicon, because he doesn't have the food like at all right now, and he has switched into some kind of granary, if I heard that correctly. But I'm not exactly sure where. Not sure. It was just probably some bad hearing or some such from me. Maybe I just clicked on the granary myself. Definitely could have been, but the defense seems to be working so-so. So-so. I'm not going to say that it's going to be that it's working great, because it isn't. He's basically confined to his basement. To his base. Not really basement. And all this army is just not going to be letting him go anywhere else. He's going to be forced to remain in here, just now hoping that he can switch into farms, but he still does have at least the one rhino. I don't understand why he isn't coming for it. Once he's missing all the food. That's just completely mysterious to me. But he isn't, and well, it's probably some kind of gentlemanly agreement, because it's not like Lion is coming for his rhinos either. So yeah, that's that. That's that right now on hunt, not really all that much on the elephants. Yet another reason why he should be really moving into the bottom a whole lot more, because of course the elephants are just a whole lot of food, and especially fast food. It's literally a bit of a McDonald's for him, because of the fastest gathering time than from any kind of farms. So yep, that's that. But not opting for it, and his army is really right now looking for something else to kill. Another problem of his is right now obviously lack of gold, because he just run out of the gold inside his base, so he will have to move somewhere else. Potentially to the top. That could be something that could be saving him, because I'm not sure that Lion actually knows about it, or rather he knows about it, but he doesn't have permanent scouting in there, so that could be potentially up for the taken for Ourk. Just a bit of raiding by the scouting Turma, just trying to see if maybe the opponent is coming somewhere else. But yeah, that's not really happening, and he is just raiding around and trying to catch his opponent off guard. Right now this is a bit of a pickle, of course, for Ourk, because he probably doesn't want to spend all that much gold. Because if he spent too much gold, he wouldn't be allowed to actually advance into the next age. But at this stage, I'm not sure that's his biggest problem. So he probably shouldn't be worrying about advancing to the next age all that much, as he's going for a bit of raiding himself onto the opponent, not much effectively. He's going to be killed by the watchtower pretty soon. And yeah, those guys are coming up for the gold and into the middle of the map, and potentially even for the food in here. So it seems like that Ourk is going to be just a bit lucky and getting away for at least a few extra minutes in there. Town center in the meantime being captured by Vagabond Lion. Nobody is really hurrying into the next age. They are quite comfortable dueling it out in the classical. which is quite fine indeed. And oh well, a lot of Turmas coming somewhere else, and they are coming exactly where they should be. Oh well, yeah, safety time is over, and you will need to retreat. And even though those two guys could be taking a few Turmas in there, oh, it almost looked like they actually missed it for a moment, but wow, right on time. And oh well, they are gonna get rid of those potential guardians in there, and the rest is just gonna kill all the gold miners. That's not going to be all that much of a problem with that. So is there some kind of chance for Ourk to save them? Well, yeah, there is. He does have some small army to help with that, but it's not really going to be in time. He's not even retreating from there, he's just gathering as much as he can, which I kinda understand. He doesn't have any kind of extra resources anywhere else. But well, of course, Ourk is still very much into the game. He has killed, wow, all 4 citizens in here on the town center. That's very nicely played, before even Vagabond Lion could get there. So that's, yep, yet again, divide and conquer, basically the story of the match so far, the first game and the second game as well. And that was a very crucial spot and stop as well of the town center and killing of 4 quite valuable citizens for the Atlanteans. So nicely played by Ourk. Really making the most out of the very difficult situation he is in. Very well played. Even though he lost a lot of villages in here as well, he is still forcing a battle in here, and that means that he can gather a bit longer from this spot. But town center in the middle has been finally finished, but it's not going to be easy, or rather for safe and for free. Well, oh yeah. And the 2 villages dead, so it's about 6 citizens dead for the Atlanta. That's pretty brutal. That's definitely more than what Ourk lost. Ourk lost like maybe 10 with the losses that he's going to be having now. Yeah, apparently not. Ourk doesn't want to be having anything like that at all. That's, I think, the correct choice in here. He definitely needed that, and well, unfortunately it stops this raid-in on the opponent, but still, it's worth it. He needs to protect the gold miners, as he needs the gold quite desperately. Right now, without gold is actually Lion. Ourk is also without gold, as he's moving to the middle of the map. Quite gutsy. But he could be defending it, because it's quite close to his own base. So the reinforcements are potentially going to be quite soon in there. But yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure if it's going to be working. Potentially he's going to be relying on the Centaurs. That seems to be basically the unit of choice. As, yeah, without the gold he doesn't have anything else to make. I'm just kinda curious about the drop in the citizens for Lion. Yeah, you can see that that's a huge drop. He was like 15 and he was dropped to about 9. Yeah, that's exactly the 6 citizens that we have seen. But also, Ourk was at 40 and dropped to 32, so he lost 8 villages in there. Well, a bit of a slaughter of the citizens. But ceasefire is right now off, and we are back into some pretty big engagement in here. And looking at all the Centaurs, I'm kinda curious. Yeah, just now he's microing them. For the first seconds he wasn't microing the hero Turmas onto them. But right now, if he is still keeping with them, yes he is, exactly on the Centaurs, it should be pretty easy for him, as the Centaurs are not that tanky. And that's exactly what's winning him in the battle. If he wasn't having those few heroes Turmas in there, it definitely could have gone a whole lot better for Ourk, but yeah, it didn't, and right now it's going to be time for all those fleets to actually retreat if he doesn't want to lose them yet again, as this army is just a bit too strong from Ourk, and especially since he's at 2 TCs, with Ourk being just 1, it's not a good fight for him, like at all. Right now running away, fortunately not really fast enough. It's going to be another attempt at trading by Ourk, and is he going to be catching a few villages? He should be. He definitely should be. And yeah, right now though, Lion is paying enough attention in here, because he doesn't really need to watch all that much of a map, he just needs to, in the middle, leave his units be. They are just going to be winning anyway. Not any longer though, needs to be a bit careful. Yeah, a bit of pathing problems apparently for Ourk. As obviously at the top, those villages are not going anywhere safe. They are just being right now cut off by a very nice micro by Lion, and it seems like that most of those, if not all of them, are gonna die in here. Yeah, that's about, yet again, about 8 to 10 villages dead. And even though there was a pretty nice attempt at the bottom, unfortunately no citizens from Lion are dead, but just 1 Centaur, and this one is probably not gonna do a whole lot either. So the news seems to be closing. Yet again, around Ourk's throat, especially since he's basically run out of options where to go for gold. Right now it's fully controlled by Lion. There's like not much of a chance for him to go somewhere else. And yep, he's just relying fully on the foot, on the wood line at the back, and hoping that potentially the favor that he's right now gathering might be something that saves him through the Centaurs, but I'm fairly certain that at this point, not really, as already some military buildings are being made by Lion right next to the gold, and much more importantly next to the town center, which is of course the front from Ourk. That's also important to notice. Still trying to secure the gold for himself, Ourk, but unfortunately right now with the last power being used, it's not going to be possible anymore, and those guys are just gonna die, all of them. Unless they retreat. Well, it doesn't seem like that many of them will. And just a bit of an engagement in here, as there is... Oh, nice anticipation right now by Lion, as he was fully expecting that his opponent will be coming somewhere to the bottom, trying to get, for example, into his gold at the back. That's, I think, some kind of idea from him, but that's definitely not gonna happen. So, yep, another slaughter of villages. And the top is basically just going to be dealt with as well. In the middle, just army growing in here, as we are switching yet again back into all of these guys. Bolt use at the top, that's not really important anymore, as, yep, right now we are aiming for a tied match at 1-1, and we'll have to see a decider in this tournament match from 2004. So nicely played, switch trolls in here. And this time it worked a whole lot better for the Kronos. Yet again, has to be said. So, something you wouldn't really expect today, and even in the past 7 or some such years, but back then, in 2004, Kronos actually did have a pretty good shot against Zeus, due to how the meta was played. The meta was slower, and allowed a bit more economy, and then correct usage of all the available assets was also working into his advantage. Alright, let's check the post game. Lion this time winning everything, yet again as in the first game it was Ourk. Economy, well, not that significantly better for Lion this time. Not that significantly better, which could probably be accounted to the 6 lost villages. Or other citizens next to the town center in the middle. That was pretty brutal. Yeah, exactly this drop and this huge drop, and second one for Ourk. There was just no way that he could be coming back from that. Alright, GG.